Anxiety Club, my anxious human BFFs. How are we today? Happy weekending. Recap. I have officially done 3 Anxiety Club Saturday Sessions episodes. All 3 of them are out on YouTube. And I just have been getting really nice feedback about these, and people are interested in what Anxiety Club is and curious about, what I'm doing in the community that we're building together. So I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you for watching these episodes and for being a part of this community. I have a lot of ideas for what Anxiety Club can grow to be, and I'm excited about what we're doing here. It's cool. I actually was at this show last night, and one of the hot topics of the night was anxiety. There was an artist on stage that was talking about anxiety, and one of her songs was about anxiety and feeling antsy. And I just resonated with it a lot. And I feel like, that's exactly, what Anxiety Club is for, right? Is just to build community. And it was, it was really nice to see a lot of people last night. Once someone spoke up about anxiety, everyone was like, oh yeah, no, I have that, to a point where everyone in the room was like, who doesn't have anxiety? So yeah, I thought that, that really was cool to kind of feel validated in what we're doing here, because I know it's something a lot of people deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I'm just loving that, we're creating a space for it and talking about it and making more awareness about it and making anxiety more okay every day at a time. With all of that being said, today is going to be a light episode. I'm not going to go into a more deeper episode. There's a deeper episode that went out 2 weeks ago about panic attacks that I've experienced. So check that one out if you're interested in learning a little bit about how I deal with panic attacks or what I've, experienced in the past. And then the other 2 episodes were craziest dating stories, as I'm getting texted by my dad. Craziest dating stories, and then homesickness is ruining my life, and then the panic attack episode. So this episode is a more fun episode, like I said, and I'm excited to dive into something that you guys might relate to, or if this is something you've been thinking about for a while or wanting to implement. I'm excited to talk about what we're going to talk about. Okay, let's get into it. You know what is exciting though? My 2 kitties are actually both taking a nap on the bed in our bedroom. And that's refreshing, because as you guys might know in the last episode, they were not very chill. They were knocking things over. I literally had to adjust the camera 7 times. It's almost like the minute that I put up the camera equipment, they're like, I don't know, they got to put on a show or something. It's pretty wild. They just go berserk. But I lucked out because they're taking a nap. So, okay, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about what it's like to move to a new city and what I wish I knew before moving to a new city. If you've been following me for a while, I'm a singer-songwriter based in LA, a recording artist out here, and building Anxiety Club. But I did live in Nashville for the first 2.5 years, getting my career started in music. And now living in LA, I have experience moving to a new city twice. And I'm from Denver, Colorado. So when I moved to Nashville for the first time, I was 19. And that was unique because I was really young. I had gone to my freshman year of college at Colorado State University. And I didn't really love the college vibe, the college experience. I just couldn't get into it. I think I just wanted to do music. That's all I wanted to do. And anything that really felt like it was holding me back from doing music and making music was annoying to me. And so I ended up telling my parents hey, I want to move to Nashville. I want to make it happen. I want to make it official. And I remember my dad being I told my dad first, and he was on board, let's do it. My mom, we talked to her second. She was also on board, but she wanted me to stay in school, which makes sense. I'm really glad she made me stay in school. I'm really happy I have a degree. But yeah, I moved to Nashville at 19, and I think if there's one thing I will say about moving to a new city, I don't think you're ever like too young to move to a new city necessarily, question mark. Like if you're going to go to a new city for college, I feel like that's pretty normal. But what I will say about my personal experience is I did feel really young. And I think the reason I felt really young and at times kind of like out of place was because I was a full-time online student. So when I moved to Nashville at 19, I had gone from being in person, taking in person classes, being constantly around people and surrounded by like people my age, to going to Nashville and doing everything remotely. And it was a pretty lonely experience, to be honest. So right off the bat, I will say if you're going to move to a new city, just think about that, right? Like if you're someone that can pretty much adapt to things by yourself and you're a pretty independent person, then you might be completely fine moving to a new city if you like spending a little time by yourself, because it will be like a little bit challenging to get started. I know that making new friends like right off the bat won't happen like right away, you know, but like I think the more that you put yourself out there and you go out and do things, like it'll naturally happen, and we'll get into that. But specifically when it comes to like moving and the initial aspect of it, like if you're going to go out there for school, great. Like if you're going to move to a new city and you have community automatically and it feels very natural and you're going to be taking like in-person classes and stuff, like and at a campus, etc., like I feel like you're going to be so fine because you'll be surrounded by people your age and making friends will be very natural. If you aren't in college or you didn't go to college or wherever you are at in life and you decide to move to a new city, I would just have like something lined up, like someone you know out there that you're going to be hanging out with like when you get there, or a job lined up if you're moving out there because you got, you know, a cool job opportunity or school or whatever. But like just like prepare yourself, because that's the one thing I just didn't know was like how lonely I was going to feel when I first got out there. So yeah, that was the one thing I really wanted to cover first, was like just make sure you have people out there. And if you don't, then you're someone that can be pretty independent and can go like put yourself out there and make new friends. Cause like, I guess I'll go into the next phase of it. It's like moving to a new city, you know, you have to put yourself out there to make friends. And I have a lot of people that are like, how did you do that? Or like, you know, what did you do to make friends? And I've had a lot of like ups and downs, I feel like, when it comes to making friends. Like in Nashville, I was so focused on my music. Like I said at the beginning, like anything that got in my way like drove me nuts. And so I spent a lot of time doing my school by myself, and then I would try and go out at night. And I will say my social battery has definitely become exhausted as I've gotten older, because I can definitely look back on like when I first moved to Nashville and I was just so young and like bright-eyed and like was down to meet anyone and like wanted to hang out or like grab coffee or whatever. And like I was just, the busier my schedule was, the better. And I will say like it is still like that. I do love being really busy in general because it helps with my anxiety. But back then, like I just didn't, I have way more social anxiety now as I've gotten older. I don't know if you guys can relate to that. I don't know if it was COVID or what, but like my social anxiety is so much worse than it used to be. And so yeah, where was I? I lost my train of thought. Okay, making friends. Yeah. So what I would recommend doing is like follow up with people. Like let's say you go out to, for me it was like going out to a writer's round or something, and I was gonna go like watch an artist perform or watch a couple artists perform, like, and let's say my plan, I always wanted to go with a goal. Like my goal was to walk away like knowing the artist by name, like they know who I am, getting their social media and like setting up or like letting them know like, hey, I'll reach out because I'd love to hang out or like set up a co-write sometime. And so like the biggest thing I would say is just following up with people is so key. Like it's so easy to like reach out to them the day after that you guys connected and like nothing ever happens or nothing ever comes from that. So I would definitely say like make plans quickly after meeting someone and then follow through. Like don't bail on those first plans. Like I still to this day, now that I live in LA, like I've kind of gone through a period of like, I don't know, I want to say hibernation, question mark. Like, I feel I've been really a homebody and like really focused on my music and work. And like lately, I don't know if it's also because it's spring and it's about to be summer, but it's like, or it's not spring yet, but like almost, it's like the weather is warming up. Like, I just feel like I want to be out and about a lot more. And ironically, like the other day, I like, it was difficult because I didn't really want to, like my social battery was dying, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to go attend this social thing. I was going to go see a show, and I ended up leaving with like 2 new friends. Like, it was so rewarding to go. So that's the other thing too about moving to a new city is like, you really need to challenge yourself to just show up and go, because you never know what you're going to leave and like walk away from. You never know if you're going to make a new buddy. And I actually like made plans with 2 people, and like we have plans. Like I have plans with someone this Sunday, and then I have plans with another one next Friday. And like, they're just super cool girls. And like, I'm really excited to hang out. And you know, when like you're having a conversation with someone and you're just kind of like, oh, we really click. Like I could tell like we could get along. And I feel like we could hold a conversation all day and like we're making each other laugh, or like that person's making you laugh, or I don't know what it is about. Like sometimes when you meet someone, you're just like, oh my God, like we should be BFFs. That's how it was. So it was like really rewarding. And so it still happens to this day. And I still have to challenge myself to like go out and make new friends and meet new people. It's super out of my comfort zone. But when I first moved to Nashville, I was so like doughy eyed and was just like, let me meet whoever. But I was good about following up with people, and it was worth it, because when I would like, you know, have a birthday or put on a show, like, you know, people would come, you know, they would come to like my birthday party, or they would come to my show, because, you know, I was good at following up with people and asking them how they're doing and staying in touch with them and caring about people. Like, I think it's really important if you're going to move to a new city. Otherwise, you know, you might be a lone wolf. And if that's how you are and you prefer it that way, totally fine. I totally get it. Like, I am an extroverted introvert where like I need to hibernate. If I go out for like, let's say I go out 2 nights in a row or something to a networking event, like, oh, you better, like, I'm for sure going to be hibernating for the next 2 nights. So like, please don't talk to me for 2 days. So anyways, yeah, that's all about like, I think you got to make friends. You got to have something lined up out there so that it doesn't feel awkward. Cause that was my biggest thing. I moved out there and I just had no one to count on, no one that wanted to grab sushi, no one that wanted to go to the movies together. Like, I didn't have any of that. So it took a while to figure that out. It actually helped a lot because I ended up transferring to a university in person in Nashville. Okay, so the other thing that I would definitely say about moving to a new city, I like wrote a little list out so that I could stay on topic, because sometimes I get like la la land and I go all over the place. So another thing is, and this is kind of hard to digest sometimes, like even for me, like I've done this a few times now, and like not everyone that you meet right away, or like not everyone that you meet right when you move to a new city is going to be your best friend. And I moved to a new city thinking like everyone that I met was going to like love me, and like we were going to, you know, hang out, we were going to be buddies forever. And, you know, it was just like so not like that. And some people you drift away from, some people you realize you're not in alignment with, like some people you do stay buddies with forever, or for a time. You know, people come into your life for like a reason, and or a season or a lifetime. I think that's what it is. And so yeah, I think don't expect everyone to be your buddy. I think that's just like go into it with that expectation, and it will really help, because yeah, I feel like I got let down a couple times in Nashville by people that I was just like counting on, or like, you know, excited to see, and they would bail and things like that, and then it would just fizzle or whatever. So yeah, that's what I would say. Also expectation wise about moving to a new city. Okay, yeah, no, this is actually legit. I also wish that I knew the area better when I was moving to Nashville. Like, I had only made 1 trip out to Nashville before I moved there, and I didn't go with like my mom and my dad. I didn't go with like a best friend. Like, I went with a guitar player that I knew, and like he wanted to go see Nashville as well. And so we were both like, let's just go out to Nashville and go to some writers' rounds. He played guitar for me and I sang. And so it was like one of those things where it was like, I don't know, we were so focused on like getting into music right away and going out there specifically to perform instead of like see the area, that when I first got out there, I was living in an area that I didn't like at all. Like it was I just didn't like it at all, like the area. So I would definitely recommend like doing a little bit more due diligence before you move to a new city about like where you're going to be, the city itself. Like, are you going to feel safe in this area? Like, how expensive is it over in this area? Are there things nearby that you like? Like, what's the traffic like? I can say now that I've lived in LA for almost 4 years, it's just, oh my God, like the traffic is so bad. And I had no idea before moving here. So like things like that, where you just kind of got to like maybe do a little bit more research than I did. So I would definitely say, get to know the area before you move there, because you might not know what you're getting into. And then when you get there and you sign a lease, you're locked in. Okay, so I have 2 more things to say about moving to a new city, and then we'll wrap. But yeah, today's just a short episode. But the other thing I will say about moving to a new city that really helped me was I joined a lot of Facebook groups, and there were a lot of them in Nashville and in LA. It was just like, Nashville, like a Nashville running club, or like a Nashville book club, or, I would join these groups where, people would have things going on and you could like join. I know that in LA there's lots of them as well, and like people will get together, and there's groups of people out here especially that will like have cute dinners together and potlucks, and like it's an opportunity to like go meet people. So join Facebook groups and use social media to your advantage, because you never know like what's going to happen, or if there's an event that's going on, and you should go. Okay. And then I feel like we touched on this a lot, but like the emotional aspect of moving to a new city and just like embracing the change. I am terrible with change. To this day, like any change in my life, like I think my role at work right now is like about to change. I work at a music distribution company, and my role is about to change there. And, I think change is daunting and it's intimidating, and, even just the smallest amount of change really affects me. So obviously moving to a new city, like it took almost rewiring my brain to really like adapt, because especially to Nashville, like I went through a big phase of like anxiety and depression, because I was just like, what did I do? Where am I? Like, I don't know anybody here. What the absolute fuck did I just do? Like, I don't know. It just kind of was like, it's a huge change. And so just being in tune with like embracing the change and knowing that like not everything's going to happen right away. You're not going to, make a new friend like the night you get there. Like just take your time, take it slow, explore things that you like, explore coffee shops, explore, the parks, explore different, I don't know, just like events and music things that are going on. And like you'll meet people, especially if you do things that you like to do, you'll find people that you like to hang out with, and then the city will just naturally become your home. Like that's the thing I will say is like when I lived in Nashville, it like did become my home. And when I've now been in LA, it does feel like home. So it's taken a while. It's taken a couple years, but it's worth it, and I like it. So that's all I really have to talk about today for moving to a new city and just my experience with it. So I hope you guys found this somewhat helpful, if this is something you're thinking about doing, or just kind of hearing a little bit about my background and my story. But I'm excited for what's to come with Anxiety Club. If you guys have any topics that you want to talk about, comment them below, or just like DM me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Lexi Klein Music, or at My Anxiety Club. So I'll link everything below. Be sure to not be a stranger. I'm really happy you're here. And yeah, my TikTok community, our TikTok Anxiety Club community is growing so much. So thank you. Really excited about that. It's been really cool to watch. And yeah, I'm just excited for what's to come. I hope you have a great weekend. And yeah, okay, talk to you later. Bye.